The lights of Hollywood once bowed to him. He was the symbol of charm, success, and unstoppable energy. A man who smiled his way through every storm, until one moment shattered it all. Behind that smile was a life slowly unraveling, a family fracturing under fame's quiet cruelty. What began as a story of triumph became a mystery of downfall. And tonight, that mystery unfolds. The world once called him untouchable. From the streets of Philadelphia to the heights of global fame, Will Smith's rise felt mythical. He was laughter in human form, the wisecracking hero, the family man, the perfect son America wished it had. When he stepped on stage or onto the screen, it was like the air changed. But with every smile, cracks began to show. What fans saw as humility became something else, a performance too polished, too safe, too unreal. As the years passed, audiences who once adored him began to sense it. Something was off. Behind the scenes, Hollywood insiders whispered of tension, of a man obsessed with control, terrified of slipping from perfection. And when his personal life began bleeding into the public eye, the carefully built image started to crumble. His family, once the ultimate picture of love and success, became a mirror of discomfort. Clips from interviews showed forced laughter. Red carpet moments turned awkward. The warmth that once drew people in now felt strained. The same crowd that once shouted his name began to question everything they thought they knew. How did the hero become the joke? How did the man who once defined cool suddenly become lost? Then came the comeback. Or what was meant to be one. After 2 decades of silence, Will return to music, a place where he first found his voice. But when Pretty Girls hit the internet, it did not inspire nostalgia. It inspired disbelief. Viewers blinked, confused. Was this real? The video looked more like a commercial than a song. The flow felt rehearsed, the energy forced. Gone was the confidence of getting jiggy with it. What replaced it was a man chasing ghosts of past glory. Comments flipped. They saw a brand trying to survive extinction. Every move screamed, "I am still here." But few believed it. His presence online became a cycle of overexposure. One post too many, one smile too wide. Redemption cannot be rehearsed, and audiences sensed that. They wanted truth. What they got instead was theater, and with every act, his fall became more complete. Then came the collaborations, a string of appearances that felt stranger by the week. Will Smith, once Hollywood royalty, now stood beside streamers, influencers, and online comedians half his age. He laughed a little too hard, danced a little too long, and tried a little too much. Fans didn't see a man connecting with the new generation. They saw someone pretending to understand it. Clips of him with internet stars like KSI were flooded with confusion and mockery. What was once effortless charisma had become an uncomfortable spectacle. Every handshake, every forced smile, seemed to ask a silent question. Do you still love me? The tragedy wasn't in the attempt itself. It was in the desperation behind it. Because deep down, it wasn't about views or algorithms. It was about trying to feel relevant in a world that had moved on. Hollywood's golden child was now a viral clip. The man who once owned every screen had become lost in the glare of them all. For years, their love story was Hollywood's fairy tale. Red carpets, matching smiles, and the perfect family image. But beneath that polished glow, something darker brewed. As the cameras faded, silence took its place. The warmth between them began to fade into cold civility. Their home, once filled with laughter, became a battlefield of quiet resentment. Rumors began to spread, of separations, of arguments, of 2 people living under one roof but in entirely different worlds. Then came the red table talk. Millions watched as Jada spoke calmly, her words sharp enough to cut through the air. She spoke of entanglements, of confusion, of needing to find herself. Will sat across from her, could never let go. Interviews, book excerpts, and viral clips painted an unsettling picture. To fans, it seemed like Tupac was the standard, and Will could never measure up. Every time Jada mentioned him, the internet erupted with mockery and comparison. It wasn't just about jealousy. It was about identity. Will had built himself on being the man who could do it all. Yet here he was, losing a battle with a memory. No matter his fame, his success, his charm, he could never compete with the ghost of Tupac, and that realization tore something inside him. Because it wasn't just his marriage slipping away, It was his sense of worth. Behind every headline about his comeback, behind every forced smile, was a man haunted by someone who never even lived to see his rise. Why now? The world no longer saw Will Smith the legend. They saw a broken man trying to act like he wasn't. The internet became his stage, and every stumble was a new act. Photos of him crying during interviews went viral. His apologies became memes. His every word was dissected, twisted, ridiculed. The man who once inspired millions now served as entertainment for their scorned. It wasn't just the slap. It wasn't just Jada. It was everything. The years of overexposure, the desperate image management, the endless need to stay loved. What once made him charming now made him tragic. People began to say he was trying too hard, that he should disappear for a while, find peace, return with dignity. But he couldn't. Fame had become his oxygen. To step away would mean death to the identity he'd spent his life building. And so, he stayed visible. He stayed smiling. Even as the world stopped smiling back. The tragedy of Will Smith isn't a scandal. It's the slow erosion of authenticity in the face of impossible expectation. The story of Will Smith is no longer about one man. It's about what happens when the world turns its heroes into holograms that he wanted to inspire, to entertain, to be the symbol of light. But somewhere along the way, the performance consumed the person. The boy who once rapped about joy and freedom became the man trapped inside his own perfection. The public still remembers the laughter, the charm, the greatness. But now, they also see the cost. The cost of keeping a mask on for too long. The cost of love turned spectacle. The cost of fame without peace. Yet beneath it all, there remains something unbroken. The same resilience that made him rise in the first place. Perhaps one day, he'll return, not as the superstar the world demands, but as the man he truly is. Until then, his story stands as a warning and a mirror. Because behind every Hollywood smile lies a secret no camera can capture.